Hello. Today I'll be showing you how I make the face and head out of paper for a 3D paper model, using Goku as my example. With some extra advanced options too. Let's get going. Okay, so step one is to make a peg for the face to slide onto. So just roll paper into a tube and flatten it out a little bit so it's more of this oval shape at the ends, like this. Like a pin on a T-joint, roll the bottom of this tube of paper here with another layer so the top is just sticking out a little bit. And of course tape it as well. Then wrap this with another strip of paper. And this part will always be removable, and this is where the face will attach to. Now if you watch my neck tutorial video, you should have a part like this. Specifically this part here with the double joint. So it's just the bottom of the joint is going down into the neck, into this tube of paper here that slides into the neck, and then the top is just a pin going across there that is attached to a piece of cardboard around either side that wraps around, forming this semicircle. And then I just took another piece of card, cut it out into a flat circle with the dimensions of the head, and I just stuck that on with some glue and sticky tape. And now this part is where the face will get attached to. So you take the part I just made, this little peg here, and trace it onto the underside here, and then glue that peg to the head. And I don't like the idea of having just this flimsy piece of card being what's holding my face on, because that means it's just going to be bending all over the place and isn't going to be very solid. One way I commonly deal with that is I take another piece of card with this thin strip here, and I just fold that up and then wrap it around, making this kind of shape that I really don't know how to describe. But now because you have this side of paper here bending against the top here, it's a lot more solid. And then so what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll just glue that over the top here, like this. And then once the glue dries, this would be much more solid than just a single piece of card. The next step is to make a small tube of paper to glue on the top of the head in the center, like this. So now we have the tallest point of the character. This is the very top of their head, so I know exactly how tall the head is going to be. And also because this provides a solid pillar, stopping the head from getting squashed in later. Then we're going to make the top of the head, and this is basically just going to be a dome the same color as your character's hair, which in this case is black. And to achieve this dome, you just draw a circle that is quite a bit bigger than you would actually need. And then you just have to draw all these little sections here where the paper will be cut out, and then these will be folded together. And to get to this, I just did a rough copy where I just made some cuts the way I think they should go, and then I just tested it to see how it fits around the head. And you can see I didn't quite make it big enough, so I indicated the extra length certain parts needed to be with sticky tape. And then once I came to this and I put it around the head of the character and I saw how it fits, I cut it open again, I traced it here, and now I have my final copy. So of course we'll just cut that out, and then cut out all those little areas. And then of course color it in. And then just continue to fold all these gaps together. And I'm actually going to try and attempt to sticky tape these cuts together from the inside, just so I don't have the top of his head completely covered in sticky tape, and then glue it on. And that's it. That is what the head looks like. Making the face is really straightforward, but if you're fussy about proportions like me, I recommend you draw your character first so you know how big everything needs to be. As you can see, I have done many times for Goku. In this case, I know Goku's face is 2.1 centimeters long, with the eyes being 1.1 centimeters up from the chin and about 1.5 centimeters wide. So you just carry all those proportions over when you draw the face flat on the piece of paper like this. The only difference is you make it a little bit wider to account for the paper that's going to be wrapping around. And then you draw the back of the face and the chin, or the jawline, underneath. So these two sides will fold back while this part folds underneath, and the sides of the jaw here will meet with these parts of the jaw down here. And then you just draw the face. And I always have a center line here to make sure everything's even on both sides. And I also mark some little dots where key features of the face are going to be. Like this is where the eyebrows will start. And I know the eyes are only going to be 1.5 centimeters wide. And don't forget the ears. The ears have to be attached on the face too. I always forget the ears. So as you saw, a big drop of ink from my marker just left a big splurge in the middle of his face here, so I wasn't able to shade his nose properly. Anyway, as you'd expect, you have to cut it out. And then this part will fold here, where it'll go underneath the jaw, and this will become the back of the head, and then this part will fold around to the top of the head. And I'll color most of it in. And so now you can see the head, the face will literally start to fold back like this. And the jaw will come under here and meet right there. And then this part will fold back up here, getting taped to the side right there. And that is more or less how I make the face. And now to attach the face to the head, you'll actually need to cut out this little oval shape here. So this little tube wrapped around the peg for the head can slot right in there. Now this top piece here isn't really needed, it's just there to sort of give the forehead a bit more of a squarish shape as opposed to rounding out like that, just to hold its shape a little bit more. So I'll just add some glue to either side here to keep that piece of paper in place. And the final step is to slide the face onto the head so you can see how the jaw lines up with the neck. What I mean here is look at the throat piece of your neck and look at its shape and see how the jaw sort of hits against it. So what I like to do is I like to cut out a section of the jaw down there, the bottom of his face, so it can sit more flush with the neck. Now there's this little gap for the throat to go into, so the face sits flush with the neck. I think this minor detail adds a lot more realism and accuracy to the model, even if we are just making cartoon characters. Most of the characters I make are animated ones, so the details and structure of the face aren't usually that realized and the faces look rather flat. So this basic way of making faces works really well. Although if you wanted to have something with a bit more shape, here is a new method I've just discovered. Basically, I split the face into two parts, and that's so the cheeks can curl up towards the eyes and then the brow can curl out again. And you can't really do that with a single piece of paper, so you need to split it up. You'll just have the bottom of the face, that is everything below the eyes and not including the nose. And so these parts will just fold back and connect with the jaw like this. And then there's these two little cuts here that will fold together, giving a bit of a roundness to the cheeks, leaving you with something like that. And then the top of the face, you pretty much just want to have the nose piece here, where you have the front of the nose and the two sides that will fold back and meet with the underside here. And then also, you make cuts underneath the eyebrow. Between the eye and the eyebrow, you have a cut, so then you can pull the eyebrow back and fold it around the eye, getting this really sort of dynamic curve right at the brow. And then after that, you just put the two together. Then you just cut out the hole in the jaw for the neck, and then add a tube of paper so it can slide onto the head. And you're done. Oh, and you do actually have to manually attach some extra ears here as well. Just glue them onto the back. Again, I always forget the ears. And that is more or less how you make the face, and also how you make it so it can be interchangeable. And as you can see, I think this one here is just, it's got the angles much more like the Dragon Ball Z characters have. It's quite good. And the ears are extra big and goofy looking here, but hey, the Saiyans are monkeys, and I don't think it'll look that bad once he has the hair. Cool. So this has been my tutorial on how to make the face and head out of paper for a paper model. Thank you for stopping by, I appreciate your time, and that's all for now.